In this lesson, we're going to continue working on converting the My Account PSD file to HTML and CSS. So let's open up the My Account PSD into Photoshop. I've already got mine opened up here in advance. Now in the last lesson, we completed the order details page. This time we're going to work on the order history page. That's folder number 2. So we'll be able to reuse a lot of the same code from the order details page. And then for this pagination, we'll be able to reuse the pagination section from our category page. Let's switch into our text editor, and let's open up the order details.html file. Let's copy all of this. We'll close it out, and let's create a new file. We'll paste in our code, and let's save this as order-history.html. Let's scroll up to the top. We'll change the title to say order history. Then let's scroll down to our main content section, and inside of the order details div, let's change this to be order-history. Then we'll change the h1 tag to say order history, and then right after it, we can delete everything inside of here except our table, as we'll want to keep the table. Then down towards the bottom, let's get rid of the back to order history link, as we're not going to need that. And let's also update the comment to say end order history. Now we just need to add in the pagination links. So let's open up the category.html page. We'll scroll down to the pagination section, and let's copy the entire section plus that top horizontal rule. We can close the category page out, and right after the main content section, we'll paste that in. Let's fix up the indentation here. Now let's work on changing our table to display order history rather than order details. So let's look at our design in Photoshop, and you can see that we display the number here, then the order ID, the date, the amount, and the status. So let's change our table headings. So we can leave this as the pound symbol or the number sign, and we'll update this to say order ID. Then this one will be date, then amount, and lastly, status. Now we need to change all of the table rows to have an actual order instead of the products that are in an order. So we can just put in a number, then an ID, a date, the amount of the order, and then an order status. Let's go back into our text editor. So we'll just leave 1 for the number. Then for the order ID, we want this to be a link. If you look at the design, you can see that it links to the order details page. So let's create a link. We'll just have this link to a hash, and we'll just insert some numbers for the order ID and close the link. Now let's enter in the order date. We'll put in March 24th, 2013. Then the amount of the order, we can put in $400. And then for the last one, this is the order status. So we'll put in finalized. And to style these appropriately, you can see that the finalized one is this green color, pending is orange, and aborted is red. So we'll give these their own little class. We'll set this one to be finalized. And now I'm just going to copy this table row, and we'll delete the other two below it. And let's paste this one in, and we'll paste in a third one. Let's change the date. We'll put this one to the 26th and the 29th. Let's change the price to $600 and $100. And we'll change this class to be pending. We'll change the status to be pending. And then we'll change this one to aborted. There we go. And that's it for our HTML. Let's switch into the browser and take a look. We can go to localhost, ecom, PSD to HTML, and this is the order history page. All right, it looks okay. We just need to add in our styling. Let's switch back into our text editor, and let's open up the main.css file, and let's scroll down to the order details styling. Here we are. And so we'll be able to use a lot of this current CSS to style our order history page. Let's just add order history to this comment. And then we can add the order history ID to the order details styles. And we'll also want to add this into the IE7 margin fix. So we'll put order history here. Let's take a look at that. We'll refresh the page. There we go, it's positioned properly. But now I see that there's a lot of space between the pagination. So let's override that margin bottom. Let's go back into our text editor and let's just target the order history ID and let's set the margin bottom to 0 and that should fix that up. There we go. Now let's work on the H1 heading. Let's go back into our text editor. Let's scroll down here and we can add the order history ID and its H1 heading to those styles. And we'll also add it to this one as well. Order history H1. And that should fix up the heading. Let's refresh. That looks good. Now we just need to style the table. Let's go back into our text editor. We'll scroll down a bit here. Let's just copy this selector and we can paste it below and we'll change this to order history. We'll do the same thing for the TH and we'll change it to history. And then we'll do the same thing for the TD tags and we'll change it to history. That should be good. Let's save the file and let's take a look. We'll refresh. There we go. That looks much better. Now lastly, we just need to style the finalized, pending, and aborted classes. If we take a look in Photoshop, you can see we have this light green color, then an orange, and then a red. So let's go into our text editor, and after our total class styles, let's style the finalized class. We'll set its color. We'll use 9DBB6F. That's that light green color. I just pulled it from Photoshop. Then we'll target the pending class. We'll set its color to ED7840. That's that orange color. And lastly, we'll target the aborted class. We'll set its color to DE310F. And with that, we're finished with the order history page. Let's switch into the browser and take a look at the final result. We'll refresh. And there we go. I think that looks pretty nice. So that's it for the HTML and CSS for our order history page. I'll see you in the next lesson.